party. Hey, yo, this is Sean Paul, the girls I'm overall and dancing and flossing, you don't know. What I'm saying? Footballer. Scene.
You spoke about a lot of players you play with, and one of particular I want to speak about now is a gentleman who's played 20 years as a pro, and in my eyes, he, to me, is top 3 U.S. national team players ever. Yep. And I have an argument for him being the most successful career ever in the U.S. And we're speaking about a gentleman named Damarcus Beasley. Right. Tell me a little bit about the first time you saw Damarcus Beasley play, either against or for, and what was your thoughts about?
I think the first time I saw him was at Mitchell Park.
Okay.
We played the state team versus his national team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hyped up that day because, we I think New Yorkers, we just got a chip on our shoulder, especially Long Island. Most of the guys in Long Island, we want to show them up, and we actually lost that game 1-0. So, but he was busy, on that side, really.
Who you playing for?
The New York State team.
Okay.
State team. So, we had a good team.
Yeah.
So
how the hell you guys lose?
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, Gooch back then, Gooch and Nelson.
Yeah.
And Gooch was deceivingly quick, especially when I was younger and excited. When you play under the lights and a lot of people were there.
Definitely.
And so I was ready to play, and they were able to shut me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
so you didn't represent New York well then?
Oh, I did. Gooch went to AC Milan, so
how you start bringing out cards? Man, you got shut down, man.
If he just never became pro, then he played for AC Milan.
It was justified.
It was justified, rightfully so. It was a good game. And Beasley, back to Beasley, he was energetic, light.
Yeah.
He still weighed the same, 80 pounds. He's still that to this day. But that just shows his professionalism and consistency and passion for the game. And my father always liked this game. My father is very particular and critical.
Yes.
And if he says he likes somebody,
it's a big statement.
And look what happened to his career.
Yeah. So you mean at that game or at that age, he said he liked Beasley as a player.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yep. And and kudos to him. He did well with his career, and four World Cups.
Yeah.
And I think they don't promote him enough. I feel like they know he's good, and they should really highlight him a little bit more. I guess that's what we're doing.
Yes,
we can't just wait for someone else to
do it
to do it and validate who he is. And I'll do it. We're doing it now. And I saw him the other day in New York. He played NYCFC, and I get excited just talking about him. There's so much I can say about him. He's a leader. His family was always there for him. I remember seeing his dad and his mother always at the games.
Big shouts out to Mr. and Mrs. Beasley.
That's right. He's a humble guy. He likes to see you do well. He encourages people. He's passionate about the right game. Blue collar worker. He doesn't cheat. Eats right.
Yeah.
I remember one time we went out, he had just a steak, and a couple potatoes. He was good. And I was like, wow.
Give us a story on the field of going to battle with Beasley, and give you an instance and your youth ball for U20s or for the senior team.
Yep. Well, man, I know for the U20 World Cup, he's the one that passed me the ball. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
you didn't know that, right?
No.
See, look at that. So a pass came to Bobby Convey. We probably a guy we could go in on.
Bobby. Yeah.
Bobby Convey. And he passed the ball to Beasley. Beasley found me in the middle of the park, and I was able to, one-touch finish in the goal. Of course, I made it look easy. Ball coming across your body. Keeping it on frame. With a slick grass. But Beasley laid it perfectly on the pitch.
Was Bees the type to tell you, "Yo, Edson, get your ass back"? Track back or give direction on the field, or he mostly led with his game like you?
Nah, actually, he didn't have to tell me that. Where Beasley led me is when the fitness.
Oh.
Yeah, so for instance, we had a little preseason before the World Cup. It's the 30-man roster. We had to chop it down to 30.
This is not the U20 World Cup. This is the senior World Cup.
team.
Okay.
And even for the Olympic team.
Yeah.
Both cases, you can say the same thing. We had what's that one you just key? The Cooper run.
Yeah,
so we do the Cooper run, and
8 laps.
We're not being tested. We're just being pushed. And I was in his group both times, you know, and he both times with the Olympic team or the full team, he was like, "Come on, let's go," pushing me, you know, and that just shows his character, you know. He's always trying to, you know, he wants me to be the best I can be, you know, and he always told me that you know, that I got it. You know, I remember one time we were in Chicago in 2004. I scored like a really nice free kick, had a good game. That was to get the supporters shield, so I was really dialed in. And after the game, he was sitting next to the guy, what's the guy? Peter Novak. Okay. So we went to the lounge after the game. Yeah. And he's like, Edson, you got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believed him, but you know, you think he's just saying it just to say it. But he's a player a person that always believed in me, you know, and we're friends to this day. Yeah.
And how do you rate him amongst the greats? Or I should say, this is the ballers, the footballers that play for the USA national team.
I would say he's up there. You know, he's got to be like top 5 dead or alive.
Who's your top 5 dead or alive?
Man, I would say American. Does Jeff Cunningham count or no?
He played for the United States. Damn right he can.
But I would say he's up there with the star.
No, I need 1 through 5.
With
man.
The star?
Not 1 through 5. What's your top 5?
My top 5, I would say Dempsey. Number 1.
Clint Dempsey, number 1.
Yep. I would say, man, it got to be field player. Can it be goalies too?
Yes, of course. Yeah, footballers.
I think Tim Howard is one of them.
Tim, number 2.
Man, Landon.
Landon, number 3.
Yep. Man, I would say, man, Johnny O'Brien.
Woo. Yeah. Wow, that's 4.
Yep. And, man, I want to say, and Tab is up there too. It's like Tab or Claudio. You know, those guys. Right. It's tough because I want to throw Eddie Pope in there too, you know, or Sane. But, you know, I'd have to really reevaluate.
Who's the last one you just said?
Tony Sane.
Tony Sane. Yeah. Let's talk about your relationship with Landon Donovan. I'm not close to Landon Donovan. Yep. I haven't had more than maybe 3 or 4 words with him. I might have been in the room with him maybe 10 to 15 times. He always, from the outside looking in, very complex individual, very standoffish, very aware of who's around him and kind of who he lets in, who he doesn't. Please tell me your relationship with Landon on and off the field, and a little bit more of an insight of who he is personally. You know, not just scoring the goals and being the terrific player he is on the field.
Well, Landon, I would say at times, like myself, is very socially awkward.
Okay.
You know, but I think he embraces it.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean socially awkward? I mean, besides you having a big head, I don't understand.
Right. I think maybe there's a bit of anxiety, I guess,
okay.
And not wanting to be in the light as much. I think you
think Landon suffers from not wanting to be in the light?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in the light too much. I think.
How do you reach that level of talent, you and Landon both, and not want that attention?
I think man, mental health. You know, it could be a combination of things. It's not just one thing. You know, I think how you grew up. You know, I don't know how he grew up, but it seems.
But you mentioned that he had homeschool.
Yeah, he had homeschool. You know, his friends. You know, it could just be his personality. It's not a knock on him, but being a 16-year-old kid, people always trying to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could probably build up a resentment towards people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's an ugly world sometimes when you're a superstar. You know, and you can't blame them for being mindful of who's around them, you know, and so it's tough. It's like a balancing act, right? So you're always trying to find that balance, and life is always going to throw things at you, like challenges, you know, and you can't just say, you know, protect him, you know, it's how he deals with it. I think certain things that happened to him in his career off the field, I think he handled it well, and that's just the human side of being an athlete. You know, sometimes from the outside, they want athletes to be perfect.
Yeah.
But they're human at the end of the day, you know. And he's no different from any other person that has social anxiety or awkward or you know, and he has fun with it at the end of the day, you know. I think he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't take himself too seriously, and
so he has a joke inside of him.
He has a joke inside of him. So
right,
with all that going on, he knows. I think he knows his strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But you know, it got to be exhausting to always play those games, and they ask so much from him, you know, and I think that hindered United States soccer. You know, when he's always forced to play and he has to be the man, you know, and nobody's better than Landon. And I think Jorgen tried to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the psychology from, you know, the players besides Landon, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, that could have contributed to a lot of it, you know.
Yeah.
I know feeling the pressure of Beckham when he came, you know, and always being the man, and then you have Beckham that walks in, and that's the balance of life, right?
Correct.
It's like they're trying to do something with Landon. He's trying to carry the lead, and then Beckham comes in and
takes his shine.
Takes over and takes your shine, you know?
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, but rightfully so, you know?
How was Beckham and Landon's relationship?
To me, I didn't see any drama. You know, I seen real drama coming up in New York.
Yeah.
You know? So if I don't see any swinging, no weapons and nothing like that, I think everything is all right.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But from, you know, Beckham was able to get a team. You know, when he came here, he negotiated that. But, you know, Landon's agent, you know, is friends with the commissioner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he trusts his agent to make the best decision. You know, for his behalf, you know, but then
Correct.
you have a guy from the outside that truly understands business.
So you think Landon could have negotiated a franchise deal
Absolutely,
like that? Yeah?
absolutely.
Wow.
He probably has a stake in every franchise. Who knows?
Who
you know?
knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? You know, and he's not a flashy guy, so you'll never know.
Who is Landon's closest friend, as you know?
Man, that's a good question. Who's his closest friend? I would say maybe like a Todd Donovan or something like that.
Okay,
I
him
know
and Todd
he
were
was
very
close with Todd. I really didn't spend too much time with Landon off the field, but I know one time Landon. This is the first time I really got to know Landon. It was a U23 camp. I was Olympic team, and I was roommates with Eddie Johnson.
Okay.
And Eddie got sick.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be in the room because they didn't want me to get sick. So they put me in the room with Landon. And at this time, Landon was like
God.
You know what I'm saying?
He had his own room.
He had the pager with the Motorola pager at that time.
Oh, two-way.
The two-way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't have a two-way?
I didn't have a two-way at that time. Yeah. You had two-way?
Oh, yeah. I was in the industry that time.
Queens. You know what I mean? You had a hustler. You know? Right. So you know, they put me in a room with Landon. I'm like, why they put me in this room with Landon? You know, I got the social anxiety thing. So he had it, so I had it. But I probably had it a little worse than he did.
Yeah.
But it said a lot probably about myself, me not realizing, to put me in a room with Landon. There was a respect factor there. And he let me go in the room.
Yeah.
And he could have said, hell no. You know what I mean? His pager was blowing up all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Interviews left and right. You know, he's doing push-ups and at the middle of the night. I woke up one morning and all I heard was like grunting.
Wow.
And he was
getting it in,
you know. So, you know, I got to know him a little bit, play a lot of video games, Xbox. You know, I forgot that game where it's like you play against people. He always liked that game. I forgot it was. It's like one of those shooting games.
Yeah.
He hooked up the game to one room and play. I forgot the name of that game. But I never used to play. So, but he's very childlike. You know, he's an inner child. I think playing sports keeps you like as a child for a while. And
definitely.
Simple guy.
Yeah.
Not about the flash, you know. He's all about playing hard and going to chill on the beach, you know. He's a California guy.
Yeah. Nick, I always find it interesting how, like, I know so many people play with Landon, but I never hear, like, oh, yeah, me and Landon went on vacation, or myself and Landon are hanging out here, or something hanging out there. I always see him, even when I see him moving around, like, at soccer events, he's always, like, him and an agent or him and an executive. And I always wonder, who's the people that's really close to him? You know, who's the people that he feel are soccer friends, you know? And for him to have the success he had, even I always find a weird dynamic with him and Beasley. They came up hand in hand, but they're not as close in my eyes. But again, I don't know everything they do. Right. And if you ask Beasley, he says he's one of his closest friends, you know? But that's because of the history they have with each other, you know? Who's the player on the U.S. national team that you never got a chance to play with because you weren't on the team the same time that you regret?
Man,
Yeah, one person.
I never got to play with Eddie Johnson.
Wow. Never.
I never played with Eddie Johnson.
That's crazy.
I played with one time, but it wasn't like a match. You know what I'm saying? Like a qualifier.
Yeah. It wasn't a sanctioned
like
FIFA.
Friendly. It was always like a friendly. Or
yeah.
So one time I got a chance to play.
You think you two could have done damage together up top?
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever spoke about it?
Yeah, we spoke about it before.
Yeah.
But it's like one of us got to play, right? They don't want both, you know. So I don't know what's the story about that. Who else could I play with?
Well, I like that.
Kyle Martino.
Never played together on a senior team. But Kyle's a person that, unfortunately, due to injuries, he didn't have the national. He didn't have the national team career I think he could have had. I think at his time, I used to love his touch on the ball. He reminded me of a little bit faster version of Phil Haber.
Oh, yep.
You know, I might be way off, but that's how.
That's right.
That's right. You know, and I think they try to play him on the wing so much that he wasn't that quick.
Oh, right.
And I think he needed to play more of maybe a withdrawn striker or increase his work rate that he could play maybe more of a central role.
Right. Or he could have played it like Beckham.
Exactly.
He didn't know how he don't play like that.
He never wasn't taught that way. He wasn't taught that way.
Right.
Last thing I want to speak to you about is just a transition on retiring into the real world. And I know myself and other athletes have always had issues on changing your identity or starting a new career or starting a new identity and the struggles that goes into it. You've been retired, was it 4 years now?
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
4 years, right? And tell us about that 4 year gap, not specifically what went on, but what have you learned in that 4 years?
Right, man, a lot. You know, when I retired, I kind of learned who's around me, you know, and just the survival piece of just, you know, humans, you know, and society, and being kind of thankful for, you know, that being able to play professional soccer, and, you know, whether it's family, you know, I would say I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding that you still need to work out after soccer. You know?
But you couldn't wait not to work out.
I couldn't
right?
wait to not work out. And then I realized how hard soccer is. I'm watching soccer now. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of running. And I used to think I was unfit, you know? And now I realize how fit I was, and how much that is connected to mental health, you know, and having a clear mind, and your mood swings, you know. I think it's very important. It's essential for people to work out, because, you know, when I wasn't, a lot more negative thoughts, you know. Then you have the thoughts of, I wish I could have did this, wish I could have did that, you know. But at the time, you always do the best you can do. But it's easy to say, you know, you could have did this and could have did that when you retire. But now I'm at a place where I realize, no, I did very well, you know.
Of course.
And you know, I'm very thankful for that, and appreciative of the people that supported me.
Yeah.
And, you know.
What suggestion do you give a person who's retiring like Beasley? What suggestions do you have for him?
Man, that's a good question. I guess know your worth, you know. I would say, you know, take a vacation. You know, I think you're always on the go, because when you're not playing, when you're playing, you think you want to go hang out, you want to go do what everybody else is doing. So that's
things
another
you thought
thing
you were missing out on.
That's the thing that I realized. Now when it's time for me to hang out, everybody's working.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if people were trying to throw it in my face.
Yeah.
But it just seems that people made themselves available for me, because they knew, you know, I wasn't around all the time.
Exactly.
You know, so then it was probably their way of saying, you know, Edson, you got to get to work. You know what I mean? Because that's what people are doing out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was a learning curve, and you know, I got a little closer to my family, you know, now. So, and it's a communication piece. Now I understand a lot more now than I did when I was playing. It's like a sports bubble. I call it the sports bubble.
Yeah, correct.
You know,
correct.
and a lot of athletes, when they're in the career, they're chasing that bag, right? They're chasing that $1 million contract, and not realizing what got them there, you know, is bigger than that contract.
No doubt.
You know, and we can monetize it in many different ways. And you're a part of the 1%. You know, Beasley should know he's a part of the 1%, and a lot of people want to get to know him and just be mindful who he works with.
Correct.
Afterwards, because people may be intimidated to ask to work with him, or people are just going to be throwing things left and right, and you want to connect with reputable people. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to learn job titles. That's something that I just, if I like you, you know, and
don't care what you do.
Don't care what you do, you know. So I'm not, and I just, you know, it's the humble beginnings, and Bees has a little bit of that in him as well. But I think he has a good supporting cast, so I think that transition will be easy for him. He has a soccer school. And I think the world is his oyster, is that they say. So
it's just for him to have a good preparation and attack it.
Yep, and use that network. I would say use that network that you've gained over the years. You know, I think that's important too, and that's his value. You know, all the places that he's been, I think he's going to be even more successful after he finishes playing.
Preach. What would you tell a 14, 15-year-old Edson Buddle?
Oh man, just relax and play soccer, man. Just take care of yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You're a leader. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to run around. You know what I mean? As much. You know, be more of a teacher. You know, teach my friends how to take care of themselves. You know, I didn't understand that waking up 5:30 in the morning before school makes you feel better going into school. You know, I would say pay attention more in school. You know, it's all about repetition. You know, I don't think they teach you everything you need to know, prepare you for life in school.
Yeah.
But, you know, use that network. You know, talk to people more. You know, talk to more girls. You know, you know what I mean?
You weren't the ladies' man in school?
Yeah, nah, I was the ladies' man.
Yeah,
you too laid back. You know,
yeah.
listening to too much Nas. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, like I always had that laid back personality. You know, so it's kind of. You know, I had a girlfriend here or there, but
you wasn't chasing females.
Nah, I wasn't chasing. You can't chase. You didn't want to look like that guy that chased.
Yeah.
So I kind of was too laid back
and
respectful. My mom had respect for my mother, so I had respect for women.
Oh, so. Edson Buddle's a respectful man for women.
Yeah,
round of applause for that.
You know?
Round of applause for that. Now, Edson, I just want to say thank you. I've been watching through your IG how how busy you've been since on your trip to New York City, doing clinics, doing camps, yoga, juice bar.
That's right.
You know, participating in your father's academy, Golden Touch. Before you go, speak a little bit about your eating regimens and how important that is, and also yoga. You've been consistently doing yoga for how many years now?
Oh man, I started yoga in 2003, I would say.
Wow.
So one of my ex-girlfriends was a yoga teacher, and she was big on it. She ate well. She was like a vegan, and so I would do it off and on. But since I've retired, this is the most I've been consistent. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think it makes you present. You know, sets my intentions for the day. Helps with some of the anxiety I spoke about, because I'm very anxious, and I tend to overthink. Mm-hmm, so yoga tells you to, you know, it's hot yoga too, so it tells you to be present. Yeah, you know, take care of what matters, but what you can control now, and staying limber. You know, a lot of times working out tightens you up. Yeah, and with breathing and flexibility and being present, it can be just as good as a 2-hour workout. No doubt. All
right, my brother. Well, I appreciate again the time you coming into Futbolr Studio and sitting down with us and breaking bread. And you know, I wish you the best of luck on what's moving forward. I'm inviting you to come on and be a co-host on this show. So hope you can make some time for that. And you know, like you said about bees, man, the world's your oyster, right? So,
that's right.
Let's continue to conquer that, and the next chapter will be even greater.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Futbolr TV.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
The outro music.
Hey, yo, this is Sean Paul, the girls I'm over around dancing and flossing, you don't know. What I'm saying? Futbolr.
Scene. I'm addicted to. Futbolr scene. I'm addicted to. Futbolr scene. I'm addicted to you. You're my addiction.